What up there, boys and girls? This is Chris and Mike and Peter Ho on the Chris and Mike Show.
Welcome, Peter.
Welcome, Peter.
Thank you for having me. I'm super excited to be here.
And we always start off with the rock and roll, baby.
I love this. This is my new gym stuff. I don't know. I found my new gym music here.
I will send you a copy of that because that just happens to be us from the early to mid 90s.
No way.
Yep, that's Chris singing, that's me playing guitar,
Send
that's
it.
Scott Connor playing drums, and Rick Carr playing bass.
William Richard Carr III actually played bass.
He can't say it anymore.
Yeah, it's like, ingrained in my head. Because he has a cool name, William Richard Carr III on bass, and every time I'd say it, he'd look at me like, dude, seriously? Stop.
But it rolled off the tongue.
It rolled off the tongue, man.
That's cool.
And then I would just say, ladies and gentlemen, Mr. Mike Michaels on guitar. And he would, wow.
All true stories.
And then Scott, the drummer. Scott didn't have a last name. He was just Scott, the drummer.
He was.
So we are here with Peter Ho. Peter Ho is a really cool guy. He's into holistic healing medicines, things like that. We're going to talk about the world of whole foods versus processed foods. Again, this is the Chris and Mike Show. You can check us out online on Instagram, Facebook, YouTube. Drop reviews, give us a follow, give us a like. And like we talked about last show, coming soon is the chrisandmikeshow.com. So, Peter, why don't you give us a little insight about who you are, what you do, all that kind of fun stuff, and then we'll just start lobbing softballs at you and have a great conversation.
I love that. And thank you again for having me, Chris and Mike.
You're welcome. Thank you.
Thank you for being here. Nice to meet you, man.
So technically, I'm originally from Hawaii, Honolulu, Hawaii. Born and raised in Hawaii, the Aloha State, as people call it paradise.
Love to hear about that, too.
Yeah. How long did you live in Hawaii? Because you didn't tell me that
I
before.
was born and raised there.
Really?
No, I was born and raised in Hawaii.
Okay, so we hear the things here on the mainland, right? Like the bugs. Are the bugs huge?
The bugs.
Really? Really?
Bugs on steroids?
But dude, the thing bugs is like the roaches there. It's like I swear, like you come to them and you're trying to hit them, and then they just fly, and they're like, oh shit.
Now they do that in Arizona too.
Yeah, they fly, and they don't fly away. They fly at you. It's they're like, I don't care about who you are. I'm just gonna fly at you and
you should be familiar with that, Chris. They do that in Arizona too. They just call them palmetto bugs.
Yeah. That's crazy though, man. So, what about mosquitoes and shit? The flying
mosquitoes
things
are huge. I mean, mosquitoes, they really suck their blood. Actually, I found out. It's really weird. If you have old blood, you're more prone to get mosquito bites.
Old blood.
Really?
Old type blood. You know how
type O blood.
Type O blood.
Gotcha.
Yeah.
No,
I thought you said old, like I'm 60.
I did too.
I get
Sorry, man.
I
did too.
No, type O blood. Like you get prone to bite. You get prone to actually getting bitten more. I didn't know that.
That's crazy.
What type of blood do you have, Peter?
I have O. That's why I know.
There you go. I just said I'm Peter Ho with O blood. That's crazy. So how long did you actually live there? Because you were born there, so
23 years before I moved to California.
So what made you leave the land of paradise to the land of absolute utter
You went
chaos?
from one terrible weather climate system to another. That's just, I feel so bad for you.
No, honestly, no. I really enjoy. Actually, when I moved to California, I moved to North Cal first. So I definitely lived in the Bay for a little bit. So it wasn't too bad. But I decided that I wanted to boost my career. Okay. I'm not gonna lie. I'm gonna be transparent.
We want you to be transparent. Please lie to us, Peter. Please.
And then a lot of people. I did follow a girl. I did follow a girl.
Nothing wrong with that, man. You're a what is it? A red-blooded American. Even though it's type O, you're still a red-blooded American.
Oh no, decided to do that, but also I need to up my experience and career. So I wanted to really be more independent. I'm not gonna lie. As much as I love being a mama's boy, I love mom's home cooked meal.
Hi, Mom. Me too. What's Mom's name?
Mom's name is Malia.
Hello, Malia. Is she still in Hawaii?
She is still. So I'm actually coming back next week.
So we can say aloha, Malia.
Aloha.
There you go.
Aloha means everything, right? Good morning, good afternoon, good night, hello, goodbye.
Everything, anything ingredient wise, you can ever think of.
Okay, but you can't.
That's so cool.
And you can't. You can't. It can't be mad. Like we did a whole show on fuck, right? And so you have all these different ways to use the word, right? So you can't use aloha in any negative way. It's always positive and uplifting. Okay,
yes.
Cool.
I love that.
Yeah, because the Hawaiians are uplifting, right? Like it's all positive energy and stuff, right?
It's all positive until someone screws it up. But no, yeah, it's all positive energy.
Right on. That's cool.
Yeah.
That's cool.
You can't go wrong with the beaches, the mountains, the hikes, the nature. Like you can't go wrong, even with the food. Like I know we're talking about whole foods and processed foods.
Yeah.
Mostly whole foods there,
right?
Because they farm, farm to
fresh.
Farm fresh. There we go.
Except for Spam, right? Spam's like an icon in your.
Yeah, but Spam's good though.
How did that happen?
It had to be because of the war, right? Did it have
the war? Yeah,
the
war. It happened because of the war.
World
Chris
War
Dunham
II?
for the win.
World War II?
I believe it's World War II.
Oh, okay, yeah.
The bombing of Pearl Harbor.
Right.
That's how it started.
Really? So was Spam in the bombs? And then the Spam just came to the top and floated?
I don't even know the history behind it. I just know it's from the war. And...
Don't follow him for a history lesson. I can tell you that.
No, absolutely not. And for those of you that are sensitive, I'm a huge proponent of American veterans. I'm not making light of the Pearl Harbor bombing. Okay. My lawyers told me to say that. I got you, Dave. I don't,
No, actually, we were making fun of the Spam.
We were making fun of the Spam, but you know how
because on the mainland we can't imagine Spam being like a staple in our diet. We make fun of that section in the grocery store.
Flavors.
There is, right? I was at the store the other day, and we just happened to walk down that aisle. And there's like 16 different flavors of Spam. It's kind of like tofu; it just absorbs.
Okay, so give me an example of how you would use it where you would consider it like a delicacy in one of your dishes.
Yeah, we have something called a spam musubi. It's rice, spam, and a nori. That's it. Very simple.
What's a nori?
Nori is seaweed.
Okay.
Like sushi. You know sushi seaweed?
I do.
So it's like you wrap it around there. Yeah, that's it.
I just recently learned that seaweed is delicious.
Really?
What?
I don't.
I did not know that.
I don't touch the sushi at all. I'm not into sushi. So how did you just discover seaweed, Mike? You in Pontiac, Illinois, man. There ain't no seaweed near you.
Somehow it made its way into the place that I work, and I was introduced.
Really?
To it. So
they flew it in. That's a cool company. Why don't you have them flew in some Spam, man? No, they weren't going to fly in Spam. Okay, so we've totally digressed.
I could go to Walmart and get Spam.
Yeah, we've totally digressed because that's just how we roll in this thing with the ADHD. So Peter again is a holistic. He's not a. What are you? What's your title? What do you call yourself besides Mr. Peter Ho?
Yeah, I'm a health and wellness coach.
Awareness coach. Peter Ho.
Health and wellness. Healthful wellness.
Healthful wellness.
Health and wellness.
I'm sorry. Health and wellness. Health and wellness coach.
Turn your headphones up.
Okay, health and wellness coach. Peter Ho, the health and wellness coach. And this is Chris and Mike Show, in case you forgot. Instagram, Facebook, YouTube, all those places you can find us. You can find Peter's upcoming episodes, Spotify, Apple Podcast, YouTube, and all the places. So let's talk about what you do, Peter. How do you bring your health and wellness knowledge to the world?
Yeah, a lot of us, we don't understand the supplement industry is not regulated out there. You can go to a GNC, Vitamin Shop, Costco, Target, Walmart, and you're like, oh yeah, those are super cool.
Right.
But you don't really know what's in it. And the weird part about the supplement industry, it's the biggest scam, because the reason why I'm saying that is, yes, I am part of the supplement industry, and I'm going to really talk about that afterwards. But the things that you buy outside, the weird part of it is in the supplement world, if let's say, for example, you do a vitamin C, I think everyone likes to take vitamin C here. Part of the pill only needs to be 10%. 10% to be on the shelf. Everything else is fillers.
Really?
Yeah. If you didn't know that.
Wow. I did not know that.
That's crazy.
Yeah, because it's not regulated, right? That's why most of these supplement industries use, like, for example, Messi or Ronaldo or Tom Brady as their face, right? To advertise it, because I'm pretty sure they're not using it either.
No.
Yeah,
No,
I'm 100% sure they're not using it, and they're getting paid to do it.
Right.
So the reason why I decided to really educate people in the supplement industry is I don't want people to ruin their body, right? We can say, hey, we can treat our body just like a Ford, but we can treat our body like a Ford, or we can treat our body like a Lamborghini, right? High performance, all that high stuff. That's what we want to do, right?
Sure.
But when you buy stuff from like GNC, Vitamin Shop, or places that don't have the backing to it, it ruins your body. It degrades everything inside. Like the biggest thing kids are taking is creatine.
Right. And whey protein, right? A lot of creatine and whey. So what's the difference between creatine and whey? Do you know?
So creatine, it kind of helps your water absorption in your body. But if you take creatine wrong and you don't, hydrate correctly and everything like that, hydrate, you actually ruin your kidneys and liver. You damage it.
So creatine does what to the water?
It helps water, I would say, water absorption and water regulation through your body.
Really?
But because it goes through your kidneys, if you don't hydrate enough, it does.
You have to rehydrate.
You have to rehydrate. It's like you have to constantly hydrate.
Okay, so what's the point of creatine then? If all it does is I mean, if I'm understanding properly, creatine is just basically regulating the water in your body.
It helps you just keep peeing out stuff.
Yeah. So the reason that I'm proficient at this subject, I don't even watch MMA, but I listen to Rogan all the time, and he's always talking to MMA fighters. That's how they cut weight, right?
By peeing. So creatine just
But then they have to just
keep drinking.
Put massive amounts of water back in their body after they do the weigh-in, or like Peter said, they will literally die, and they have died. People have died cutting weight.
They've dehydrated themselves?
Basically. Right, it's a death. Yes, absolutely.
Okay, so like when I was back in high school wrestling, we would just put on layers of clothing and wrestle and sweat our asses off to make weight.
Correct. That was the old school
way. See, because
Jake
takes creatine before workouts. I'm like, what is that, man? Oh, there's... So, okay, now I'm going to go back to him with some knowledge and be like, look, motherfucker. Jake's my son, the Marine. I'm going to be like, look, dude, all you're doing is making yourself pee more. Because that's all it does? Is there any supplemental benefit to it other than making you pee?
To be honest, that's probably the main thing that's the focus on.
Well, that's stupid.
It's to really just cut weight faster. Because then, like, our body's like the earth, right? Like, like 50% of our body's water.
Yeah.
So technically that creatine helps you just pee everything out so that you can cut weight and cut the water weight in your body. But then at the same time, you're damaging your body doing it because your body also needs water to make sure that your muscles are hydrated.
Right. So it's kind of like when people water fast. You've heard of that, I'm assuming, right?
I do. I did a water fast for 3 days.
So let's talk about water fasting. What does that look like?
So technically, it's a liquid fast, right? You go for 1 to 3 days, depending on what you want to do. It helps you cut weight. Of course, it helps you cut weight because you're just constantly drinking water. And
so that's all water.
What it does is it helps.
You're just drinking water. You're not eating food. You're just drinking water. The entire 1, 2, 3 days of
water
fasting is just water.
Yep.
Huh.
And it does help you lose weight because you're like constantly peeing, you're constantly using the bathroom, everything, doing that. But what it does is it helps heal the cells in your body. Like we have a lot of bad cells in our body. We have a lot of scar tissues from our previous injuries.
Okay.
And then we also have a lot of visceral fat. I think we're in America, goodness sake.
Yeah.
We have McDonald's left and right.
Yeah.
So we're just burning fat. It really helps clean that because usually fat, actually, it goes away from your body through pee.
Really?
Yeah.
Okay, so if somebody because a lot of people have those little rings around their belly, right? You know.
Yes.
Okay.
I have one too.
and that's what we call visceral fat.
Yes.
Okay, that's where I learned this yesterday. That's where it goes. That's where it kind of hoards in your body. It's the love handles, basically, right?
I would say it depends on people's body. Not everyone's body goes where the same thing. A lot of people have it in their belly. Some people have it on their lower back.
Okay,
but
it's in that general core area somewhere, shape, and form. So
the
a water
bod
fast
with the belly up front, you know.
Yeah. So so just to make sure I'm hearing this right, so we can convey this properly to the listeners. That, by the way, we're in 19 countries now, Mike. Right?
17.
Wow.
17 countries. Well, now we're going to be in Hawaii because Milana's going to listen to us.
They are the United States, though.
Yeah. Oh, that's true. My bad.
I told you, don't geography, history. I'll help you out, man.
Dude, Peter, I thought Canada just was over New York. I didn't realize Canada went all the way to Washington.
Like I got it. Did you know? And I'm like, yeah.
I had a friend in Canada, lives in Canada, and he told me when he came down to meet us in California on our trip, he's like, "Hey, I came through Washington today." I'm like, "Washington? Why the fuck would you come to Washington, dude? It's you're top of New York." And he just kind of looked at me like a deer in the headlights. And Nikki was over sitting in the car with us, and she just kind of put her head down. She's like, "Oh my God, Chris." I was like, "What?" So she Googles the map, and she's like, "This is Canada." I'm like, I legit thought it was Greenland or something on this side. You know, I was sick a lot when I was a kid, so I missed a lot of school. So obviously I missed mapping. So I'm learning. I'm learning in my later stage in life. Like I understand we're in North America, and then we have
geography.
South America's below us, and then right? And then
Central America. Mexico and then South America.
Right, and then
Mexico, Central America.
But see, I don't understand why Central America is not in South America, because you have North America, then you should have Central America, then you could have South America. Follow me?
Well, no,
That's
because
logical.
Mexico's north of Central America and Central America is south of, and they're probably mad that we're calling them Central America. They're like, it's Nicaragua, Honduras, Guatemala, you know.
Right, but
they're people too.
Yeah, I don't. Okay, we're
I'm just
gonna
being
stop
funny.
going
You know
down that path because I'm not going to understand. It got confusing. So, what were we talking about? I went on my tangent, man. We had a real conversation going. What were we
Whey
talking
protein
about,
and creatine.
whey protein. Yeah.
And,
so
yes.
so creatine. So we were talking about water fast. That's right. Way to circle back. So if somebody wanted to attack the visceral fat in their body, they could theoretically do a water fast for a day. Try that out, see how they feel, and then expand it all the way 3 days. Where all you're doing is nothing but drinking water. You don't drink electrolytes,
Yes.
none of that. Just water.
Nope. Usually, when you start back, let's say for example, you're 3 days and you decide, hey, I want to eat food.
Yeah.
Then you start slowly bringing things in like electrolytes, bone broth, and then slowly bring yourself in. Like what I did is I did the 3 day fasting, but I shocked my body. I think I went on a full meal, and that felt really gross because like your body isn't used to like digesting that much food at once.
Oh, gotcha.
So I did, I just felt weird, couldn't sleep as much, stressed out my body a little bit, but totally okay. But I did lose like 5 pounds within those 3 days.
Wow.
Yeah.
And could you see a difference physically as far as once that weight was shed? Could you see
yeah.
more of your, I don't want to say more of your body because obviously when you're naked, you see all your body. But, you could see more definition like you said. Okay.
Yeah.
When you're, because Nikki and I have done fast, my wife. Okay. We recently had a guy on the show. It's coming back later this month, I think, Mike. Nate Palmer, $1 Million Body. He's a really good health fitness guru here in the Valley. So he told us about 24-hour fast. Well, his approach to it is different than the approach we had before, where you start it at dinner time, and then you do 24-hour fast to the next dinner time, because then most people start their fast when they wake up in the morning, right? Well, you've already gone you've already gone 8 to 10 hours without food because you went to sleep, and then it's harder. So how he does it is you have a salad with all the herbs and stuff. You throw some chicken in there, apple cider vinegar, and lemon juice as your salad dressing, tomatoes, red onion, an avocado for the good healthy fat. We eat that, say, on a Sunday night at 6 o'clock, and then nothing else until Monday night at 6 o'clock. But it's the same thing. We eat that same salad, and in those 24 hours, all we're doing is drinking water, black coffee, or black tea. Nothing else. And then we did it twice now, and both times I was like, "This is nothing," but it wasn't long enough, I think, to really have a dramatic effect. But we did isogenics years ago. I'm sure you're familiar with that. To where we did, I think that was a 52-hour fast. But they have those little things you do while you do that.
Right.
That one we saw massive results because we had just started our fitness journey. I had just got released from post neck surgery, so I was allowed to kind of go full board into things. At the time, I was about 211 pounds. So once we got done, and into February the following year, I was down to 166. So I was lean. I didn't have any muscle mass, so I had to build all the muscle up. But so I understand the fasting. So a water fast is basically what it sounds like. You're just drinking water for 24 hours, unless you want to carry it 48 to 72.
Yeah, I mean, there's also liquid fasting. You go out there to like a pressed juice or something like that, or you create your own, fruit juice or veggie juice at home, and you can do that too. So that's a liquid fasting.
Okay.
To still keep your nutrition in your body while you're doing it. So during the water fasting, you're technically allowed to drink supplements that doesn't affect your weight or your energy level. So you want your body to produce their own like. And like if you were to drink a Rockstar or Range or something like that, your body will naturally produce it itself.
Really? See, I don't drink that shit. My son drinks it because
so
he's
bad.
a Marine.
It's
I don't.
so bad.
I
used to do little 5-hour energy shots before we'd go run our half marathon.
That's the worst one.
Right. Thank you. So, but I don't do those anymore at all. I have 1 cup of coffee every day, with soy milk.
I have whatever fits in this.
Right.
It's like 3.
And that.
But that's it. That's all the caffeine that I have every day. So after that, it's either water or I drink those body armors because they have cane sugar in them instead of.
Oh, Peter.
And that's the only sugar that I use.
This is my pre-workout, my energy drink for the day.
Okay.
So
what's it called?
It's called Accelerate. the cool thing about this is all natural, plant based. Imagine like back in the days, have all those plant remedies, roots.
Yeah.
The cool thing about this, I can read it actually right now.
Yes.
What's in here is vitamin B12.
Okay.
Helps you with natural energy.
Okay, so before you continue, so the vitamin B12 people are buying on the shelves, right?
It's only 10%.
Yep. And the only reason I asked that, we just bought. Nikki needed some magnesium, right? Because the magnesium is supposed to help you sleep. Okay. And so it was buy one get free. I was like, well, let's get some B12. And then so now that you said that, there was something in the back of my head that told me that they put like shit like sawdust and crap in the vitamin supplements that you buy at the grocery store.
I've heard those same stories. Yes.
Okay. So that's legit.
That's somewhat legit. I can't,
Yeah. You can't, right. You don't want to get. You don't want to.
None of us have been there to see it, but yeah, we've all heard the same story from multiple sources. So
yeah, you don't want to get sued. I get it. So go on. You got vitamin B12 in that supplement.
Biotin.
Okay, what's biotin?
Biotin it helps with your. Oh, well, I just brain farted hugely on this trail right now.
I just dumped Peter. I just dumped. Oh. I'm kidding. It's called biotin.
Biotin. It's Oh yeah, that's right. I knew that. It helps with your hair.
It's okay. I'm sorry. I didn't mean to put you on the spot.
Your fingernails. Healthy hair.
Oh yeah. Googly says it's vitamin H, more commonly known as biotin. Like you said, it's part of the B complex group of vitamins. All B vitamins help the body to convert food, carbs, and fuel into fuel, which is glucose, which is then used to produce energy. These B vitamins, often referred to are B complex vitamins, also help the body metabolize fat and protein. So that's a good thing. Biotin's a good thing.
Absolutely.
Cool. We have green tea extract in here.
Green tea extract? Green tea.
Green tea.
Okay. And green tea's energy, right?
Energy helps you metabolize food better.
Okay.
We also have fresh ashwagandha. Helps with the stress levels.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
And that's a plant?
So that's a plant, and then you just grind it up, and all that liquid comes out, and it goes into this bottle.
Cool. That's awesome.
So this is technically my pre-workout, my daily supplement that really helps me with my energy level without drinking, without the crash and the burns. You know?
Okay. So how much of that do you do? You take a whole bottle and just drop it?
No. Open it up. Actually, you just drop. Actually, since I have to take it now.
Okay. Show us.
1 milliliter.
Yeah.
And then just put it under your tongue.
Now, what does it taste like? Cookies?
It tastes like acai. Acai berries. Okay. Or as people would like to call it, acai, but no, acai berries.
Okay.
It tastes
okay. Go ahead, Mike.
Yeah.
Go ahead, Mike.
No, it's delicious.
It is delicious.
Oh, you've had sake? I've never had sake.
Acai. You would know it as acai.
I know what acai. What is it? ACQAI?
AIKA.
No, ACAI. ACAI.
Okay, ACAI.
There you go.
Okay.
Yeah.
Because I like acai bowls. Is that the same thing? Acai
bowls?
It is.
Yeah,
okay.
There you go.
Acai bowls, yeah. So acai is the berry.
Okay.
It's exactly like that.
Sweet.
You take it twice a day. That's it.
Really? Just twice a day. So so walk us through your world of stuff, because obviously you're taking things on a daily basis for this stuff. So what is it that you wake up to, and what do you do when you first thing in the morning? You wake up,
I wake up, do your everything, everything, brush teeth, whatever.
Meditate, right? All that kind of jazz. Okay.
So I start with 2 products first, and I think the cool thing about these 2 products is that it helps first my digestive system. So I call it probiotics.
Okay. Yep, I'm familiar with probiotics.
Yeah. So probiotics, and then we have this new product, and then this new product has sold out 3 times.
Wow.
Every time I put it on the shelf, it's called Ab Vantage.
Well, you know why? Because everybody wants a core, man. Everybody wants a shortcut to working out, and I want a workout body instead of actually doing the work. They want the supplement.
I mean, this is cool because it actually works. Because I hope that I can put a before and after picture, but this is the reason why I have abs, because it's a belly fat burner.
Okay.
It takes all that visceral fat in your belly and turns to brown energy so that you have energy throughout the day.
Okay, so because I always kind of call bullshit on the ab medicine, ab supplements, because again, who doesn't want abs in the world, right? If you're a red-blooded human being, you want abs because when you go to the beach, you want to take off the shirt and all that. right? You want that. Do you want the eyeballs? Okay, you want the eyeballs, right? I worked my ass off for a decade to get my eyebally abs. Okay, so when people throw ab supplements, I'm like, fucking do the work, man. Just do the work. But I get it because America, we have a 6 second, attention span, so we want it now. So you can honestly say, based on your love for your mother in Hawaii, okay,
Yes.
and all things golden in the Peter Ho family, that this ab supplement that you've been taking actually works.
Yes.
Okay.
How so?
Yeah, how so? Explain it to Michael.
Okay, so
Michaels.
I wonder if I can actually, let me see. Let me get a picture. I think I can at least show it on here.
Because the other thing too, we can throw this up on our Facebook page.
Yeah, here, let me show you before and after.
And show it, because it doesn't. Even though your show won't air, it'll still be okay.
So you see that's me before.
Wow. Okay.
This is in 2 weeks.
Okay.
2 weeks. 2 week difference.
Okay.
All right.
Without the gym.
All right, then.
Without
No
the gym.
gym.
No gym.
Just with supplements.
Supplements.
And a water
foods.
fast. Right?
Supplements and eating whole foods.
Okay.
That's it.
Okay. So Whole Foods, because I want to talk about this, and just in case you're just joining us, this is the Chris and Mike Show. You can find us on Instagram, Facebook, and YouTube. Give us a follow, drop a review, give us a like. You can also find us sooner than later on chrisandmikeshow.com.
So you're in Whole Foods, right?
This is that's where I'm going with this, Mike.
Are you? So you had to have all this stuff independently tested, right?
Yes, we have 30 third-party testings and clinical studies.
30.
So 30, not just 3. 30.
That's why I asked the
10,
question,
20,
because I want people to hear that. Most people listening right now are saying the same thing Chris
Bullshit.
did.
Right.
How do you know?
Bullshit.
I just
It's
heard you
not,
say you're in Whole Foods, so I know that you're independently tested. I've heard thousands of hours of people telling stories just like you. So I've heard all the same questions, and the people that are listening that aren't familiar with it aren't going to know that, and they're immediately going to go, he's peddling snake oil, right?
Which is why
that's why I asked the question.
Yeah.
I'm familiar with what you're doing and why it's important for people to understand what they're buying at what they think are reputable stores are not reputable products.
Yeah. No.
See, Mike, like Mike talked about earlier, Mike is a I don't know the word, but Joe Rogan would be his go-to for all the things, because Joe Rogan doesn't talk about anything that he doesn't use himself.
I also listen to like Jordan Peterson and Art Bell, but yeah, Chris makes an important point. I try to listen to people who aren't bought and paid for, right? Clark Howard is my financial guy. He's not bought and paid for. He doesn't need anybody else's money.
Right.
So it's awesome that you've had not just 1, 2, 3, you've had 30 independent tests from third-party vendors who have said your product works and is safe. Not only safe, it's effective.
And all the vendors that have tested your products, they're not on your payroll.
No. We are also Olympic certified. We're also Olympic certified.
Okay. Wow.
And our manufacturer company is actually in Utah. It's in the U.S.
Really?
It's not in China. It's not in Asia. It's not in Europe. It's in the United States, in Utah.
That's cool.
And the cool part is that our manufacturer company, as you guys know, supplement industry cannot be FDA approved because they're not drugs.
But
stupid. Our facility is FDA approved.
Right. Oh, okay.
Yeah, you can't go wrong with that. I mean, you can find that somewhere else. Test me, but I'm super confident in what I do. I'm super confident in sharing what I have, why our product's not on the shelf, and how we're doing it. Because I'm not Tom Brady. I'm not Lionel Messi or Ronaldo, but I'm a real life person that's getting results.
Isn't it true that it's harder to get into Whole Foods than it would be like an Albertsons or a Safeway, because you have to meet a certain criteria to be in their store? Is that true or not?
So my product is not in Whole Foods. My product is not Whole Foods. It's personal distributors, direct sales.
Okay.
Right. We're not in any of the chain stores like GNC, Vitamin Shop, Whole Foods, Target. We're not any of those.
Okay.
And the reason why, I can't speak for the company itself, but the reason why in my opinion, why is because if it's in a Whole Foods, it's going to be on the shelf. People are just going to realize that there's a pay actor, showing off the product instead of the product itself working for itself.
Because they're still a big box chain.
Yeah, it's just a chain store. It's not really like, hey, I can't go down the street. Hey, Mike, like, look at me. Like, I'm using the product. Right? And where do you get it from? Oh, this company.
Right.
So I think that's the beauty of this is that.
So you're doing direct to consumer.
Yeah, direct to consumer. Yeah.
Okay.
Okay, so we touched on it a minute ago, and I want to open the can of worms because I want to share with the world on a Chris and Mike show, which you can find us on Instagram, Facebook, and YouTube. I want to know the difference between whole foods and processed foods because there's stores out there called Whole Foods and Sprouts and other ones in that same umbrella of health consciousness, and they all claim to have nothing but really good unprocessed foods. But we know from Peter and I's discussion prior to jumping onto the show today, not necessarily the case.
Correct.
So let's dive into that, Peter. How do you define a whole food? And break it down like I'm a 5-year-old kid. All I'm looking at is I want my fucking chicken nuggets from McDonald's, which I don't subscribe to, boys and girls, but I'm a 5-year-old kid. I want my Happy Meal toy, and you got to convince me that I don't want to eat those processed, disgusting chicken nuggets that I can swallow in one bite, and I want to go after Whole Foods. No pressure, Peter. 1, 2, 3, go.
Yeah. So really to share, Whole Foods would probably convince you not to eat chicken nuggets at McDonald's, but Whole Foods is just one ingredient. Anything with one ingredient. There's nothing combining it or process into it. That's why it's called processed food because there's so much different ingredients and process it. Whole Foods is just one ingredient. So let's say you go example an apple, right? An apple is just one ingredient. There's nothing else into it. There's no they're not making it processed and making applesauce or apple juice. It's just an apple. That's how.
Instead of being a nugget, it's just chicken.
Dude,
it's just chicken.
That was the best explanation I think anybody's ever explained to me in an explanation standpoint about what explaining. I'm asking to explain something. They explained it. That was a perfect explanation of that explaining of what it was.
I would agree with
Did you get that? It's one ingredient. So I'm whole. I'm a whole food because I'm one ingredient.
That's right. You're one Chris Dunham. He's one
Mike
Peter
Michaels.
Ho. I'm one
cool.
Mike Michaels.
We're all Whole Foods.
Yeah.
So if we go to a cannibalistic island, we would be devoured.
That is true. That is true.
That's amazing. So apple, banana, grapes, all the fruits, stone fruits, fresh fruits, tree vines, all whole foods.
Yes.
So when we get into, because now here's the tricky thing, you can't have bread without flour, but right? Don't you have to mix
bread without flour, yeast?
You can?
What else? No, I mean you cannot. But that's what bread and rice is processed foods. It's actually bad for your body.
Okay.
Like bread, rice, noodles.
Rice is bad?
Yes.
Rice is processed. Rice is processed 4 times before it becomes rice. If you didn't know that.
So, that's disappointing, man.
Yeah.
I eat rice
that
every
disappointed
day.
me too because I love rice.
So why can't you just get rice out of the fields and cook it, man?
Because it's not processed enough. You can't eat it raw. It doesn't work that way. Yeah.
Motherfucker.
More documentaries, Chris Dunham. More documentaries.
Okay, so
that's why people replace rice with quinoa. Because you can eat quinoa.
Oh, quinoa's one ingredient?
Yeah, quinoa's one ingredient.
Okay, I'm cool with that then. Okay, I was having quinoa chicken burritos instead of rice and chicken burritos.
There you go.
Okay, so let's go down that path. So if you love rice, you love quinoa. Rice is bad, so go eat quinoa instead.
Or eat less rice. You can eat a little bit of rice.
Eat a little bit of rice. I mean, but then
can't be every day.
I eat rice every day though. That's what I'm saying.
You got to replace it.
You could do cauliflower rice because cauliflower is one ingredient.
Okay.
Also delicious.
Okay, so the substitute for rice, boys and girls, you're learning this from Peter Ho on the Chris and Mike show. Hey, that rhymed. Get rid of your rice, replace it with quinoa or cauliflower rice. Right? Any other substitutes for rice?
I would say those two are the best ones.
Those are the
two
best.
Starch, sweet potato.
Right. Okay, so potato's a whole food because it's one ingredient. Okay.
Yes.
Gotcha. I'm following now. I'm tracking. So bread is bad because bread has so many ingredients in it.
Bread is terrible for you.
Bread is the worst one out of all.
Okay, so get rid of the bread. Now somebody told me recently.
But I love bread.
I do too. I love sourdough bread, but sourdough bread has more than one ingredient. Oh, fuck me, man. Okay, so somebody told me the other day almond flour tortillas.
Almond flours. I mean, they're good.
Right.
They're a good replacement because it's
still processed.
But it still has still processed. Okay, so there's
the best one is the egg one, the egg tortillas, the egg wraps, everything that you can buy at Trader Joe's
say that again. What are they called?
Egg wrap.
Egg wrap.
Egg wrap. So I can make a quinoa chicken burrito in an egg wrap.
Yes. Extra protein.
And there you go. And an egg wrap is just that. It's made out of an egg.
Yeah. Just an egg.
And it's round.
It's round. You can get it at Trader Joe's. You can
Hard
get
to wrap it.
Oh, I'm just gonna make sure it's round, man. Because I'm thinking, how am I gonna?
I got to provide the humor, man. It would just be super hard to wrap it up if it wasn't round.
Like, how am I gonna? Because I pack when I go to my office Mondays and Wednesdays. I make my lunch, and it's centered around.
That actually sounds delicious.
Yeah. Okay.
Now I want one.
It's super good.
And the egg wrap you can get at Whole Foods or Sprouts, places like that.
Yeah.
Okay. So, quinoa or cauliflower rice replaces all the rice. Egg wraps replaces all tortillas, and then you just can't have bread anymore.
If you want to stay healthy.
Okay.
And that really helps. Here's another thing that helps with.
Okay.
If you start replacing all the bread out of your diet, wheat, you will notice right away any kind of joint pain or inflammation that you have, which I have terribly, which is why I'm trying to cut bread out of my diet, will start to lessen or go away completely when you get rid of all that bread. Bread causes inflammation in your body like there's no tomorrow. That's why it's so
okay.
bad.
See, I heard this the other day, but I wasn't necessarily hanging my hat on it because I knew.
It's horrible. Peter's right. That's the worst.
Yeah, Peter.
Bread is the worst one.
Peter Ho from Health and Wellness Coach is on the show today.
And for you and I, with our neck pain, we're not helping that at all by introducing that kind of stuff into our diet.
I didn't think of that. So Mike got hit by he got hit by a train years ago.
Something. I got rear-ended by an asphalt truck.
Yeah, so not really a train.
My stories always get better in his. But always get better in his mind.
But it's the equivalent of a train.
I got hit by a train. I wasn't even in a car or anything.
Yeah, he was just standing
like Superman.
He was standing on the sidewalk, and out of nowhere, this train jumped the rails, and it goes through the city. And Mike was the only one to stand there. It's like, wah! And yet, here he is, man. It's amazing. Okay, so, fuck. That would explain a lot, because my neck, I have a degenerating vertebrae. It's a birth thing. I broke my foot. You probably didn't listen to that episode, but I broke my foot. Second metatarsal, had a stress fracture, so I was in a boot for 8 months. And then getting out of the boot, everything kiltered the wrong way. So I've had constant neck pain since. But you just fucking dropped the bomb.
And do you notice when you eat stuff that? So when I notice when I have like a big pasta dinner, and then I might have had a sandwich at work.
So exhausted, right?
Oh, I'm exhausted, and by the end of the day, man, between my shoulder blades is on fire like there's no tomorrow.
There's like a bunch of tension, right? Like huge tension.
Okay, so
because
motherfucker. So I've been having that shoulder thing for the last couple of weeks, and I thought it was from working out.
Trust me, we're gonna stay connected. Change your diet and see and tell me.
I'm taking
notes.
How you feel.
No.
This is what you've done. This is what you've done, Peter. I'm taking notes. Mike, have you ever taken notes on the show?
No, but believe me, it's all. I'm trying to put this into practice because I know what I'm doing to my body and why I'm feeling this way, because I'm educated enough just through listening and reading, and why are these things making me feel this way? But then I still do it because I love spaghetti and I love ham sandwiches with lettuce and.
Okay, but you can make spaghetti home. You can make spaghetti from scratch, right? Because
I can create a whole replacement for you. Why not just use zucchini noodles?
So what noodles?
Zucchini noodles.
Oh, if I can love zucchini noodles.
Yeah, zucchini noodles.
I love zucchini, so I'm sure I would love zucchini noodles.
It's super good. It's super good. Zucchini noodles. There's so much out there. I think that you can do with veggies, and then have it shredded and just make it noodles. That's what I do. But if I'm craving spaghetti, I'll do it. Make a homemade tomato sauce or homemade Alfredo sauce. That's actually a lot lighter, and then use zucchini noodles and get my protein in.
But how can you have Alfredo sauce when you have more than one ingredient, man? It's not whole food, Peter.
Well, if you make it healthy, without the flour, because the thing is, flour is a super process to become flour.
Oh.
So you can do non-dairy cheese,
which is good for me because I'm allergic to dairy, so that helps me a lot.
So is the non-dairy cheese really better for you than the cheese, the dairy-based cheese?
You gotta kind of look at how much ingredients there is. The more ingredients, the worse it is, right? Okay. You want to try to keep your ingredient to less than 3.
Okay, less than 3 ingredients. So for non-whole foods, you want to do less than 3 ingredients.
That's the 3 ingredients.
So for a typical person that doesn't have time to know what we're talking about and they're being educated right along with us, give them an idea how many ingredients are in, like they say that those Kraft singles are the worst. Would you have any idea how many?
Those Kraft singles? Oh, the cheese? I think that's like 10.
10?
There you go.
I think there's 10 in there. I'm pretty sure when I looked at it last, because I tend to do this to kind
You're
of
probably very close. I just want people to have a ballpark of what they're eating. They think they're having cheese. That's it. They think it's like milk, butter.
It's not. It's not.
Now, before I forget, because we didn't talk about how people can find you, because obviously you're Peter Ho, you're a health and wellness consultant. How do they find you? I mean, do you want to just do we want to give your number out to the world and have people calling you like all hours of the day?
Website would be probably preferable.
You know,
I do have Instagram. Instagram.
Okay.
It's Uncle Peter.
Uncle Peter? Uncle Peter.
I'm from Hawaii. So in Hawaii, we call anybody who's older, like your parents' age, uncle and auntie. So I've been coaching tennis for 11 years, and all my students are, they're in college. They graduate college. They're in college. They're about to graduate high school. So a lot of them just call me Uncle Peter instead of Coach Peter. They just call me Uncle Peter.
Okay, so Instagram is at Uncle Peter.
Yeah, UNKOPEETAH.
Okay, well, you gotta say that again now.
Say that again slowly.
Because I did it the old school way, Uncle Peter.
U.
Yep.
NKO.
KO.
PEETAH.
Oh, I got it, Uncle Peter.
That's awesome.
Uncle Peter.
Uncle Peter.
Love it.
That's cool. You couldn't just do normal Uncle Peter, could you? You just had to.
It doesn't ring. It doesn't ring.
It just had to be different, Peter.
I want to be unique, just like the one ingredient. That's only one of kind.
That's cool.
But it is.
Okay, so now the cheese that we were talking about, that's the plant based, and I'm glad that Chris asked that question. How many ingredients would that have on average?
3 to 4.
3 to 4. Okay, so everything. To be somewhat healthy, if it's not a whole food, it needs no more than 3 ingredients. You can kind of push it to 4 or 5, maybe, but you really want to hit 0 to just 3.
Well, one, because you can hit 0.
0 would be tough.
0 would be tough. Well, I mean 1, like potatoes 1. I was counting.
I got it.
Yeah, I was thinking the vegan cheese would be, 3 or 4 because So what about salt? And pepper.
That's scary. I understand how you were looking at that now.
The best part of it is using pink salt. Himalayan pink salt.
Himalayan pink salt? I like Himalayan pink salt. I like Himalayan pink salt.
If you ever had it, you can just like put it in your finger and eat it, and it's not salty at all. Yeah. But it has really good benefits to your cholesterol. Okay. And your heart.
Right on. What about bananas, man?
Whatever's good.
What about bananas, man?
Hey, gotta get that fiber in.
Because I've heard with bananas, it changes when you eat them. So if you eat a fresh, ripe banana, you get certain benefits, and if you wait till it's like a week old, your benefits change. And I've also heard that's
also true.
If
you want the freshest things, right? You want the freshest things. You don't want it to die down and ripe all the way, because you won't get the potassium fiber that you need from it to really help your body with like the electrolytes and the water.
But isn't there a health benefit for eating not a rotten banana, but one that somebody probably would maybe think twice about eating?
Or they use that for banana bread, but that's more than one ingredient, so you can't.
No, I'm talking even right before that. I thought I just read something that said that those particular bananas provide a health benefit, like begging people not to throw them away.
I never really tried something that way, because I usually try to eat it before it goes bad. Oh. But usually people use it as banana bread, but I feel like the benefit won't be as much. You bring in different types of bacteria into your body, which can either help your digestive system, which I can see that.
I think that was it. It helped your good gut flora.
Yeah.
So they're probably talking about like more probiotics from the banana, or more gut health from the. I would say I can see that. I can definitely see that.
But in your opinion, you're getting far more benefit from the fiber when it's riper than you are getting, because you can take a probiotic to get that good gut flora, right?
Yeah, and then you want to take something that's more natural to your body. I mean, you can eat bananas all day, but is that enough for your body to really
usually not
that gut health? That's why supplements is for. Supplements is called supplements for a reason, because they support your health. But you also got to make sure that you're taking the right supplements.
Well, isn't it also true that you would have to eat so many of them to get what you would get out of one of your supplements that 25. Nobody would eat that? Yeah, 25 bananas.
25 bananas to get.
And you'd have to eat 30 oranges to get enough vitamin C or.
Dude, amazing thing about that's why they survived on Gilligan's Island, because all they had was bananas and coconuts. And look how good they did, right? Because very rare would they find a wild boar or something on the island. It was always coconuts and bananas. And they obviously whole food that shit, because Marianne and Ginger would make coconut cream pie. I don't know how, because all they had was coconuts and bananas. right?
It was a beautiful
But that's legit, man. The Marianne and Ginger's pie were fantastic, you know. Just, I mean, a little bit of it's just very tasty.
Outstanding.
Okay, so I want to ask this. Okay,
I was there with you. On
I know,
that
I know
too,
you were.
buddy.
I knew you were. I want to ask you this, Peter Ho.
I have a question after that
At
too.
Unco Pita, and it's UNKOPEETAH, Uncle Pita on Instagram. Health and wellness coach. You're going to find him on our Instagram, our Facebook, and our YouTube once we drop the show. I want to know if somebody, because this is a big thing right now, right? In the medical industry, in the world itself, like what is that stuff called Ozempic? But I always say it wrong, Mike.
Oh my God.
Ozempic. Okay, so everybody's on the Ozempic train because they want to lose the fat, the visceral fat, all that kind of jazz. So this is where I'm going with this, Peter Ho. I want to know what are the key supplements or whole foods that you would tell somebody who is in shape. Okay, and I have somebody in mind here who's in shape. They work out regularly, but she just can't seem to get rid of that little visceral nonsense that's lingering. And it's not of their own fault because how they eat and how they exercise and they're active and shit. So what would you say? You know, we'll call her Bonnie. Hey, Bonnie, this is what you need to do to get rid of that visceral fat over a certain period of time.
Super easy, actually.
Super easy.
And let me tell you why.
Okay.
Let me tell you why.
Yeah.
We go through our workday every single day, right? So
Yes.
we build up hella stress.
We do hella stress, yes.
Right. Stress, high cortisol levels to your body builds up high fat in your body. That's where visceral fat comes from, is high stress.
Okay.
A lot of people don't understand that. The more you stress out, the more fat you build in your body.
Okay.
Because you tend to either binge eat or you don't eat at all, which if you don't eat at all, and you're not hydrating or anything like that, your body needs a source to find. So it turns a lot of things into fat, especially carbs into fats.
Okay.
And those fats are really bad for your organs and everything. Organs.
Right.
So the first thing is check her hormones.
Okay.
Is her hormones imbalance? Because let me tell you this: if you just have your stress level go down, you'll see your weight lose a lot easier.
Yes.
And that's exactly what I do. I help people balance hormones. That's exactly what I do as a health and wellness coach.
Okay.
These magical drops that I have help me balance my hormones to be able to lose 20 pounds in the last 30 days without the gym and just eating right. There's no diet involved, right? It's also your food that you're intaking too. Like rice, your bread, your noodles can affect how your body digests things, right?
So I know we're going down this path because I asked, but you just brought something that intrigued me. So the Asian population, okay, they basically live off rice. They live off Marlboro Reds and chain smoke like crazy, as we can attest to. We've seen it, and they eat rice. And obviously, a lot of the stuff is whole foods because of where they live, right? That they can get fresh food from the ocean and stuff. So how are they able to eat the rice to the, because they eat a lot of fucking rice.
They do,
right? So I mean, if that's not a whole food and it's so bad for you, how are they getting away with that and still being most of the part of the Asian population overseas that's not introduced to the American fucking shitty food that we have are very lean and fit, right? Because when they come over here, that's when they start eating all the crap, and then all of a sudden, you know, their entire genealogy kind of changes because they're ingesting all the shit that no other country would touch, right? Like, I don't know how McDonald's and those places exist overseas in other countries because the food can't be the same.
I would say the rest of their diet is pretty clean other than what the rice would. The rice is going to introduce inflammation, right? But the rest of their diet is fairly clean as far as not a lot of trans fats and...
So would that counteract it because they eat so clean and then they
Well, you're not going to get fat from eating rice.
Oh, no, I get that.
You won't get fat from eating rice, but because everything is from farm, everything's fresh in Asia.
Okay.
You got to think about it. In America, I'm not going to lie.
Don't lie. Rip it off like a Band-Aid, man.
We have a lot of lazy asses here.
Fucking A.
I'm sorry, but we have lazy ass people in America.
Agreed.
That don't want to go out there and do the work. They don't want to go out there and find something that will help them, right? And all they do is complain. I think America is a whole state of complainers. I mean, a whole country of complainers.
No, I agree. Right? On a whole, we like to try to focus on the positive aspects of life, but you're right. Because for the most part, that's why the supplement industry is a $1 billion or $1 trillion industry and annually, because nobody wants to put the work in. Nobody wants to invest the time.
But
it's like give me that pill, give me that pill.
The other side of it is when you're walking down the supermarket, what are your choices as if you're a middle income family?
Yeah.
What are your choices for your cheapest food?
What's up here? I'm not gonna
It's
lie.
all processed food, right?
Yeah.
Processed food is well. We also got to think that processed foods in supermarket is quick. It's easy.
Yeah.
They can just pop in the microwave for 5 minutes
That's
and
the other
go,
side of it.
and go use the bathroom or shower, and then come down to a meal. Right. That's why I'm saying that America, we're a little bit lazy on that. Is not everyone can cook. I'm sorry, not everyone can cook.
No, it's true because they grew up eating fast food. Like it blows my mind, and I'm sure you guys can both attest. Maybe not Mike because Mike lives in a small town. But if I'm out and about 5, 6, 7 o'clock at night driving around, all the fast food places around here are littered. I mean, like the row is back into the parking lot of the shopping
remember
center.
those days.
It's insane. It's like you have 50 cars at a Chick-fil-A at 6 o'clock at night. Fucking kidding me?
Yeah, when I first moved to Phoenix, I would go out at 9 o'clock at night thinking I was going to whip through the drive-thru, and there were 13 cars in line ahead of me.
Yeah, it's insane.
We love convenience. We love conveniency over being healthy.
Yeah, let's go. We totally did the squirrel moment. Let's go back. Visceral fat. First thing we want to do is check the hormones on the person and see where those fall into play because that's gonna tell the underlying story. So let's say the hormones are all good, they're all balanced. What's the next thing you would suggest?
Looking at the sleep schedule. How many hours are they sleeping? Because when you sleep, your body's at rest to help your metabolism and your body to recover.
Right.
If we're not sleeping,
you want at least 8 hours. We learned that from $1 Million Body Nate Palmer, right?
You want at least 6 to 8 hours of sleep each night. I mean, as we get older, we have a hard time sleeping, but that's why we take midday naps, right?
Right.
But during the nighttime, you're trying to get 6 to 8 hours of sleep so that your body can recover throughout the day.
Okay, gotcha.
That's what it is. It helps your metabolism too. You're still losing weight during your sleep. Your metabolism is still activated during your sleep, right?
Okay, so we want to check the hormones. We want to get the at least 6 to 8 hours of sleep. If the hormones are online, we want to make sure we're getting at least 6 to 8 hours of sleep. So what's the next on your docket of the Peter Ho prescription? Okay, we got the hormones, we got the sleep. Now what?
This is the 1, 2, 3. The third one, what's your food intake?
Food intake.
If you're trying to lose weight, how much proteins are we eating?
Right.
How much carbs are we eating? How much fat are we eating? Are we eating whole foods? Are we eating processed foods?
Right.
Right. The thing is, the processed food really affects a lot of things in your body. It affects not just your gut health and your way your heart or your lungs, but it affects your brain too.
Right.
Food is brain food. Like you got to make sure that you're eating the right thing. From there, that's how the brain produces the hormone balance that you need.
Okay.
Right. So that I call it the 1, 2, 3. If I had to help someone, first of all, is your hormones in check? Do you feel like you have a hard time sleeping? Do you feel like you're eating a lot? Do you feel like you're eating a little? And people don't understand that hormone imbalance, you go through it every single day.
Sure.
How high is your stress level? Are you feeling like you're bloating?
Yeah.
Like there's so much indicators that people don't realize. It's actually more of a hormonal imbalance more than your body itself.
Okay.
And once you balance your hormones, everything just feels like the de-inflammation, less bloating, less aching through your body, better sleep. But yeah, that's really what the focus needs to be on. Is the first 3 is how's your hormones? Do you feel like there's something that's affecting you in any way possible?
Okay.
The second of all, how much sleep are you getting? Because your hormones imbalance, your sleep is going to be affected. Are we getting 6 hours of good sleep, or are we just getting 6 hours of sleep?
Gotcha.
And then the third thing is, what food are we eating?
Right.
What are we eating? What are we putting into our body? Is it healthy stuff, or are we just eating at McDonald's or Chick-fil-A or In-N-Out or any of that?
Right. So now, with that, because here's the next question. So you're going to have random people that, hey, Peter, I heard you on the show. I want to learn. I want to get healthy, blah, blah, blah. So they ignore all that shit. They're still eating like shit. And they come to you for supplements, right? Are the supplements going to have the same impact on somebody who's not looking at their diet and understanding, okay, I'm not eating enough protein, I'm eating way too many carbs, I'm not getting the right kind of fats, because you got to have certain fats to be healthy, right? There's good fat.
Avocado, fish oil.
Right.
Ramen, yeah.
Right. So they're eating the bad fat, right? They're not eating whole foods and stuff.
That's a great question.
Thank you, Mike. So what's the likelihood of these type of health and wellness supplements, right? That, because they're supplements. What's the likelihood of them being successful with that person still staying down the same path of what they currently consume and how they consume it?
Because there's probably more people like that than there are people who are willing to make the time to cook their food the right way.
Thank you.
Let me ask, the first question I'm going to ask is, how fast do you want the results?
Right.
How fast do you want your results? If you want it fast, it's just a lifestyle change. That's what it is.
Thank you. See, I preached that before. It's not a diet, it's lifestyle. Diets fail, right? Diets fail.
Yeah, because we're not
said that a few times.
There's no diet in all this. Let me tell you that.
It's lifestyle. It's
a lifestyle, right?
Thank you.
Like, it's a lifestyle change.
Thank you. Champion my words, Peter. Thank you.
I would say like our product will be successful, but at a slower rate.
Okay.
Let's just say that. It will be successful at a slower, because at the first, that's what I thought when I first took this. Let me tell you that. And I did it. Oh, I can eat whatever I want. I can go out. I did lose weight on it. I did see progress, but it was slow as hell.
Steady. Right. Like you're running a marathon.
It was just slow as hell.
Yeah,
super slow.
Yeah.
But once I made a decision to have a lifestyle change and say, I'm doing this for myself and I want to live like I'm 99 or 100, like people in Asia. And why do Asian people live longer? It's because
rice and Marlboro Lights.
Whole Foods.
And Whole Foods. And Whole Foods. And Whole Foods.
But that's what it is. It's a lifestyle change. People think, oh, you have to go to a keto diet or fasting and stuff like that. No,
but see, right. So if someone decides, I'm going to go down this path of health and wellness, which a lot of people are doing that because it's a trend right now, and you know it should be more of a focus, I think, than anything else, because we only have one body. You know, this is it. You know, you have what you have, and you can live with it as long as you can live with it, right? If they change their diet to basically a whole food diet, which is going to be a struggle for a lot of people, because again, it's not an easy change, right? And all those things are in balance, the hormones, the sleep schedule, and they're dialing their food intake. I use an app called Fitness Pal, so I can put all my food in, and it breaks it all down, tells me my macros, all that kind of stuff. And then they go in and they start using the products that your company has. They're going to see greater impact on using those products because they're not eating all the processed foods, even though there's probably going to be some stuff in their process. Because I don't see how somebody could 100% avoid and do 100%, like empty the pantry and go whole food. I mean, in this world today, I just don't see that as somebody being able to commit. Like I couldn't even do it. And Mike knows, right? And Mike knows me. If I see something works, man, I'm fucking tunnel vision with. Like we talked about before the show, I rattled my daily diet to you. It's the same. The only difference is what I eat for dinner.
Yeah.
So now I'm going to tweak.
Okay, then that
diet.
leads.
Yeah, go ahead, Mike.
All right, that leads me to a question then.
Go for it.
Is it that important that you stay 100% away from processed foods? I would say that you just limit your intake, right? Because what he just described, you're not going to 100% get away from it. I mean,
no, there's no way. It's impossible.
Not without punishing yourself. Everybody likes, let's say you want to sit down on a Saturday night and watch a movie. There's nothing wrong with having, a bowl of ice cream. And, if you do that 3 times a month or 4 times a month, some people do that every night, and that's why they look like Jabba the Hutt, right?
Right. You got to think of it. It's like you can still enjoy food. I'm not saying that you got to go on this program and not enjoy food. Right. I still enjoy ice cream. I still enjoy
tacos,
a burger, taco once in a while, but I just make it protein style where there's no bread. Yeah. Right? You still can enjoy food. I'm not saying that you can't enjoy food.
Right. I think that's what he was asking.
Yeah.
Like, how much of that can give people like just a general idea of, maybe somebody that like Chris described, they go through the drive-through twice a day. What is a reasonable amount? Even, if you're going to cheat a little bit, what would you consider a reasonable amount for somebody in your business?
Like, okay, if I were to cheat, like even getting a scoop of ice cream or two scoops of ice cream, I'll go 3 scoops. I'll be honest. We don't want you to lie.
We don't want you to lie, man. We want you to rip it off like a Band-Aid, brother.
I'll eat a scoop of ice cream once, like 3 scoops of ice cream once a month, but I don't crave it. And because the thing is, because my hormones are balanced, you don't crave the sugary stuff. That's a weird part. Is like you
weird.
Get lifestyle change from there, because your hormones are balanced. You don't crave the food that you would crave.
That's important. I want people to key in on that right there, because anybody who is in your business that I've listened to that I think knows their stuff has said exactly what you've said. Once you get away from it for at least 30 days, right? Somewhere around that 35th, 40th day, all of a sudden your mind just has been rewired, right? You don't even think about sugar anymore. You don't wake up wanting it. You don't want it before you go to bed, which is when most people want it, is at the end of the day.
They want that dopamine spike. So here's a real quick question that we're probably I probably don't know the answer to the question. So somebody is deciding, okay, I'm going to make this lifestyle change. Okay, and I'm going to baby step it because that's the best way to do it is baby step.
It starts with baby steps, you're right.
Right, because somebody who decides I'm going to work out, never worked out before, all of a sudden they go sign up to like F45 and they kick their ass for a week, they're fucking sore, they're tired, they hate it, never going back, all of a sudden they got a recurring charge of a gym membership they're not going to go to because they did it too fast, too soon. So we're going to baby step it. So the first step I would say from based on this conversation, the biggest takeaway I got was bread and tortillas because of the inflammation. Because again, I've heard that before, but now I've heard it enough, and now I'm hearing it from somebody who's a health and wellness coach, Peter Ho, at Unca Pita on Instagram. You can, all this stuff's going to be on Instagram, Facebook, and YouTube as well. So I would say, correct me if I'm wrong, if I came to you and say, hey Peter, I want to make a change in my lifestyle. I'm going to stop eating any bread and tortillas. That's a good way to start, right? Because you're automatically removing two things that cause inflammation that are not whole foods. They're massively processed. Get rid of those two things. I'm going to see some type of result right away, even if I'm not taking any of the supplements to start off with. If I say, okay, I want to just do this and do a couple fasting days, do a couple water fasting days over a course of a month, and I'll cut bread out for 30 days and anything bread related, tortillas, buns, sandwiches, things like that, replace, like you said, with egg wrap, right, as the vessel to hold the sandwich, or you can do lettuce to hold the burger. I've done that in the past. That is going to be the best way to launch into a new lifestyle change because I think we're so dependent in America on breads and tortillas and that kind of
bread and sugar. If you cut out sugar, it would be like it'd be losing weight on steroids if you did it at the same time.
How hard would it be to cut out sugar? Because sugar's in everything. It's in everything, right? Like I talked to you about what I eat for breakfast. I have 3 eggs and turkey sausage. The turkey sausage obviously is Jimmy Dean, so it's processed at some level. I'm not going to go out and kill a turkey and make my own sausage. Not that guy. So I'm sure there's sugar in that, right? But it's healthier. Make for
a more interesting show.
But there's alternatives, right? There's not sugar, stevia, right?
Say that again.
All sugar, stevia.
But see, the problem with that is that's manufactured sugar and
from plants.
From a plant, though.
Right, but more often than not, it causes headaches and shit because it's not real sugar. It's
it causes headaches because people are so used to real sugar. People are so used to cane sugar. That's why it causes headaches. Yeah. It's because your body's not able.
Once you get away from the sugar, you get rid of the headache.
Trust me, people who have headaches, the reason why people have headaches in this world is because they're eating too much cane sugar or just sugar in general, right? Because you can do there's 3 things you can use, right, as sugar.
Okay.
Stevia, which is not sugar. Monk fruit, is also healthy sugar, and honey.
I like honey. I put honey in my coffee.
Yeah, me too.
Yeah.
I got it in there right now.
I do honey, coffee, soy milk.
That's like the best 3 alternatives. And I feel like the reason why people have headaches taking stevia is because they're still doing that real sugar and stewia at the same time.
Okay, so get away from adding sugar to food that you have or drinks you have. Get away from all the bread and it's bread tortillas are starches, right?
Starch.
But potatoes are starch.
Bad starch.
Bad starch. Okay. Get rid of your bad starch. Get rid of your sugars that you add to the food because obviously you're going to baby step off processed. So if you have raw sugar thrown in your coffee or tea, stop that. And then add honey to that. What amount of time would you say, hey, I'm gonna get rid of my raw sugar, I'm gonna add honey to my morning coffee, and then how much time would it last before then you can go in then and supply one of those 3 sugars that you mentioned in lieu of the honey to see if that is maintainable without headaches? Like a month?
7 days.
7 days? Okay.
What was I'm not lying, like with this product?
Yeah.
A week, 7 days.
Okay.
And I'm being like bluntly honest there. I'm just saying
honest.
I use it, right? And I use it, but like let's talk about going back to your friend Bonnie, right?
Yes.
If she goes to the gym,
Yep.
The reason why gyms make so much money is there's people who get lazy. They they sign up for the recurring monthly, and they don't go because they don't take that first step.
It's the greatest business model in America. You want to be a millionaire? Build a gym.
Build a gym, right? But then you gotta understand the reason why people are not getting results at the gym, right? Gym is only 20% of what makes up your body. It's 80% of your diet.
Right.
That helps your body do what it is. You can lose weight without going to the gym.
Oh yeah, absolutely.
Yeah.
You can lose weight by walking. Like that's one thing Nate Palmer, $1 Million Body, talked about when he was on our show.
And the reason why Asian people, why Asian
Because
people,
you walk a lot.
Because you walk a lot.
Right. Are you
we
Asian?
don't have the luxury of cars. We don't have the luxury of buses. We don't have the luxury of stuff. We have mopeds, right? We have mopeds. We have trains. But you got to walk to the train.
So you're Asian?
I'm Asian. I'm Vietnamese.
Okay. I didn't know. I used to from Hawaii, so I just assumed you're Hawaiian. We don't. Mike and I don't. We don't. I never.
No,
I don't
don't
know. I don't know. No,
You're
cool.
just another human being.
Yeah, exactly. That's how we look at it. We don't get into the classifications.
But people don't realize that like Asian people walk a lot more than.
No, that's true. That's absolutely true.
And the reason why is that here in corporate America, I'm gonna bring that up because in America, all you do is sit all day. You don't get up. You don't go to the. I swear, people don't go to the bathroom at work. Like I've been in corporate America. I'm like, do you guys not like use a bathroom during work? Like, do you guys not get up after 45 minutes and walk around? And now people are complaining about back pain, aches, and it goes through your food, right? We just talked about bread and stuff cause inflammation.
Yeah.
And because we're sitting all day, that inflammation in your lower back is going to just cause even more tension.
And then you go to lunch and have a sandwich.
Yep.
And fries.
And then you go back and sit.
And a Coke. Right? The funniest thing
I just love America's corporate world in a way.
Yeah. Well, see, the funny thing to me is you go to drive-through, right? And I don't do junk food, but I have friends that I've traveled with, and they'll go to the drive-through. They're on a diet, and so they'll get, I don't know. I don't want to drop his name, but three.
Bonnie's husband.
I don't know if Bonnie's husband. I don't know if Bonnie's husband is not, Bonnie doesn't have a husband. So, get 3 Big Macs, 2 large fries, 3 Diet Cokes, and a chocolate sundae.
Yeah.
How's that a diet, man? You know what I mean? Like you're not.
Yeah.
Dieting.
Why the Diet Coke?
Why the Diet Coke? But that's
because
the thing.
They're addicted to it. That's why.
Right. It's because then that's I've never.
They're
been
used to that taste.
Yeah, and I've never been a big soda guy, so I've never had any issues. Like when I have a soda every now and then, I'm like, fuck me, this is terrible. And then I feel like shit.
It makes you feel gross.
Yeah, totally.
There's one thing if you do that every day, if you cut that out, you'll immediately start losing weight just by cutting that soda out of your diet every day.
Well, you also get mental clarity. I think that's the biggest important part is people don't realize that your food, the way you eat and everything, with the eat and what you put in your body causes you to have brain fogs.
That's brilliant.
Non-mental clarity, headaches, migraines, etc. It's because food you eat, right? A lot of food that we eat, process-wise, the biggest thing in there is salt.
Yeah.
And because we're eating so much salt and we're not hydrating enough, that's caused our body to dehydrate, which causes your whole body to be inflamed, migraines, headaches, aches. That's the reason why. That's one of the reasons why.
All right. So again, this is Chris and Mike Show. You can find us on Instagram, Facebook, YouTube. Drop a review. Do us a follow. I want to ask you this, Peter. And kind of circling back around because we're Mike and I are famous for squirrel. And then all of a sudden we're off topic for 10 minutes. So Bonnie wants to start the lifestyle change. So the hormones are in check. They have to get onto the Fitness Pal app and start dialing in their proteins, their carbs, and their fats, good and bad. They need to get the sugar out of their diet and replace it with honey. Okay, what supplements then would Bonnie come to you and say, hey, Peter, I want to get rid of visceral fat. This is what I'm doing diet-wise. I'm done with the bad starches. I'm done with the manufactured sugar. We're going to call it that because that's what it is, right? Manufactured sugar. I'm going to focus on water, and I'll put honey in my tea as opposed to that. What supplements would you give Bonnie to attack the visceral fat that they're trying to rid of while still living their active, healthy lifestyle?
I think the first product I would think was first that comes to my mind is probiotics.
They're taking a probiotic.
Yeah, because you want to be able to create that gut health.
Yep. So say they're already taking that. Say that they're already taking the supplement of that, and magnesium for sleep. So they're taking a couple of supplements already that they've learned about. What's the next thing you would say? Hey, take this.
I would say these magic gas.
Okay. So what are those?
So these are Celerix and Accelerate, actually the biggest flagship product out there. And the reason why it's out there is, one, it's known to balance your hormones constantly on a daily. Okay. But two, the side effect of this is losing weight. Okay. So it went viral because it's called skinny drops and not the regular name of hormone balance drops. Mm-hmm. From there, you take it every day, 3 times. You actually take Slender X 3 times a day and Accelerate twice because of the B vitamins.
So there's Slender X and Accelerate?
Yes, Slender X is the balanced hormones one.
Okay. So what I want you to do when we're done today, I want you to screenshot that each bottle because I'm gonna put it up on our Facebook page. Because then that way people can see it, and then I want you to give me a website link, and I'll put that with that. So this will be kind of a precursor to when your show airs, but just because this is really good information, I think a lot of people in my world, and that's the thing right now, right? And it's like we talked about, a lot of it's because you're so inundated with processed foods and so inundated with non-healthy food. The visceral fat to me is just kind of being stored there because all you're feeding it is more visceral nonsense, right? You're not feeding it healthy. You're not feeding it something that will help it break it down. And I've heard earlier this week I went to a gathering. It was the context of something completely different than it ended up being, but this guy was kind of talking. He's kind of in your health and wellness world, but I found holes in the story, so I was like, yeah. But they had a product for visceral fat, and I was like, that's interesting. So then I was poking their brain afterwards. But their intention wasn't on a level of health and wellness. Their intention was on, I need my pocketbook time, right? Where I like how you know what the fuck you're talking about.
So I kind of want to share from the beginning, right?
Yeah, okay.
You asked me what I do. I graduated. I'm a kinesiologist. I studied kinesiology and the study of human biomechanics and human body, right? With a minor in food health nutrition.
Okay.
So that's the biggest reason why when it came to supplements, I was so anti-supplement in the beginning because I was like, dude, this is the worst scam. I knew that supplements were 10%. And the reason why I followed this company, I know there's so many supplement companies out there. There's so many. But I'm going to say this, and the reason why I'm saying this, I'm super confident in this, is I like when people challenge me about this because you're not going to find a place where there's going to be 30 third-party testings and thousands of clinical studies on this.
Right.
But then 2 of our products that we have that helps your brain, your heart function is in the physician desk reference. It means doctors to see it.
Yes. Oh, yeah.
That's a huge part of it. And that's why I'm so big on this, is because of the background and the care they have to make sure that people get what they want. And people get what they need.
So
I think that's the most important part.
For those that don't know, you go back to what you studied, because not everybody's going to know what you studied, what that degree is. So explain what you studied.
Yeah, finish your bio an hour and 12 minutes later. Yeah. Like Chris said, this is how this show rolls, and we love it, and I think that's why people keep tuning in. But yeah, please finish your bio.
So to go back to an hour, 12 minutes before. Yes, my name is Peter, originally from Hawaii, moved to California.
He's a mama's boy. He moved to the big city.
I decided, to move to a bigger city, up my tennis career, became the youngest tennis director in the whole United States at 23.
Tennis.
Yeah, I'm a tennis coach, and currently I'm in SoCal now, so I'm in LA. So I'm getting the feel of the north south.
Yeah,
see how that feels. I'm not gonna lie, I really love it here compared to Hawaii and North Cal. I really love it. It's a mixture of both. I get the beach, but I also get the experience and opportunity to do so.
Right on. And the studies that you studied. What did you study?
I studied kinesiology at University of Hawaii at Manoa.
So explain
for people that don't know what is that.
So kinesiology break down as sports body mechanics, sports science. In terms of the way I call it, I like, in terms of, to make it even more sounding, I guess, appealing, I'm a human body engineer.
No, that's cool. So
makes sense.
Explain what a kinesiologist does. So I'm an athlete. I'm coming to you. I want to run a marathon. What are you going to do to help me?
So I create an injury prevention plan. I make sure that we look at your running form. We look at the form, because if you run wrong, you're not going to be able to run for a long time. I also look at your nutrition. What are we eating? What are we having? How's our electrolyte levels? If we want to run a marathon, are we making sure that our health is in check? Because it's a long period of time. You're damaging your body as you run.
Absolutely.
But how do we recover afterwards? So I help you with your recovery. So that's what I actually study, and that's what I actually do now. Is I partner up with a company, a health and wellness company, to be able to give that service to people so that I can help as many people out.
Nice. So that's one degree. What was the other one you mentioned?
So my minor is in food health nutrition.
Okay. And
looking at different types of food, looking at what that nutrition value gives to you, gives your body, and how it processes into your body.
Okay.
And with that, as we said earlier, like, it takes 25 bananas to get the potassium that you need.
That's so insane, man.
I don't think you could stress that on this show enough.
No.
And when I heard that for the first time, Peter, it blew me away. I've heard it 100 times since. But people that get up and eat a banana every day, or they eat it as their snack at lunch, they're like, "Oh, I'm doing my body good. I'm getting all the potassium I need." It's like, now you need 24 more every day.
Yeah.
You need 30 oranges to get your vitamin C in.
How many?
30.
Like 30, like nice size orange though. It can't be like a tangerine. It's
every day, Chris Dunham.
Right.
Every day.
Okay, so back to what your company does, the health and wellness side of it. So obviously,
what's your company called? I don't think we've ever said that.
So my company is called partner.co. That's funny. We actually went through a lot of stuff, but we're actually a new company out there, a new name company. Our product has been out there for 13 years.
Okay.
And we just keep going better. I'm super excited to kind of say this because we just hired our new chief of science. He is Dr. Platt, and he's from Harvard. Wow. You can't go wrong with that. And he's been doing a lot of research in cancer and looking how the body works with our nutrition, how that can help with cancer recovery, or people who are recovering from cancer, people who have different diseases, and how our product can help with that. Okay. I can't say that our product can cure anything,
right?
But it can help you feel the recovery a lot better.
So this is going to be a weird question because I don't know how you're going to answer this, but have you ever seen the show Landman?
I feel like I have. I have
with Billy Bob Thornton.
That sounds really familiar. I have to watch it again.
And he drops the truth bombs about stuff. Like earlier, I referenced the 90-year-old Asian guy eating rice and smoking Marlboro Reds all day long, chain smoking. That came from Billy Bob Thornton, right? Because
yes.
So we know America is just a cluster of all kinds of unhealthy things, foods, just because it is, right? Like when I was growing up, the food I grew up with before it is now is ridiculous. Like McDonald's back when I grew up it was red beef. It was a beef hamburger. It wasn't,
Bread was at the top of the food pyramid.
It was.
Right.
It was.
Right?
It's the worst thing for you, they found out.
Cancer is huge in America. Huge. Right?
And
huge.
And the reason why is because one of us, we have the most processed foods, we have the most fast food chains, right? But we also have the worst healthcare.
Right. Well, this is where I'm going. I'm going with this. So, I mean, I know you don't live in Vietnam, and I don't know how much ties you have to the Asian community itself over there. What's the relevance of cancer in Asia as opposed to America?
Super low.
Right. That's what Billy Bob Thornton did his tooth bombs, and so that's to me is amazing. But it all comes down to what they're ingesting on a daily
lifestyle,
basis.
Right?
Lifestyle. It's a lifestyle change. It's a lifestyle that you got to. Yeah.
So to be healthy,
he kind of tried to be nice about it earlier, but we're lazy too, right?
Yeah, totally lazy.
Not everybody's Not everybody goes out and takes care of their body every day.
Everybody would rather have a Big Mac than going
and then sit in front of the TV.
So here's a question. Go ahead, Peter. No, that's my question.
But you also got to think about how social media influence is a huge thing.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
Social media, like especially these gym gurus, I can tell you, 90% of these gurus are taking steroids.
Yeah, see, that's why I like Nate. Yeah, that's why we like Nate. He came on our show. Nate Palmer's like legit. He's done everything he can do. He's failed more times than he's succeeded as far as that health and fitness industry with different things he's tried. Like he made a comment. I wrote a book and nobody wanted to read it, so I wrote it for me. But that's the thing about him. He's like you. He's genuine. It'd be fun to get you both on the show. I wonder if we could swing that shit.
I'm down. Hey, let's do it.
We've never had 4 people. That'd be fun, Mike. But that's the thing. So
these guys tie together, though. They
totally tie together. Absolutely. And that's why when you chimed in about coming on the show, I mean, I don't say no to anybody because everybody's fascinating. I've learned from you, Peter, that I've been told this stuff before, but it means more. It has more relevance coming from somebody who has a background like you, which is why I wanted to expand on your education again. You know what the hell you're talking about, and you're living proof of it because you're using the products and changing your lifestyle to better yourself. And it's a baby step thing. It's not gonna tomorrow you're not gonna be 100 because we talked about it before. You're 5'9" and your ideal weight's 185.
185. My goal is 185, and I'm like right now at 229 right now. In the last month, I was at my heaviest of 254.
Right. So in a month, he went from 254 to what?
229.
So I'm the same height as you.
Without the gym.
I'm 158.
Without the gym.
Without the gym.
without the gym, just changing your lifestyle as far as what you're consuming from a food standpoint, and then taking some of the do we really call them? Do you really want to call your stuff supplements? Because
I want to call them magic potions.
Magic potions. So changing his lifestyle and magic potions, and then like Mike said, Mike's 5'9", 158. So Mike needs to get up.
I don't go to the gym either.
Mike needs to add some more protein to his diet. But Mike, unfortunately, is lactose intolerant, so he already has a limited. He doesn't ingest a lot of processed stuff because of that, right?
It's good.
Yeah.
No, I could do a lot of changing too. That's the difference between Chris and I is Chris just learned some of this stuff as far as what is causing inflammation. Yeah. I've known it for years and I still do it. That's called stupidity, right?
It's free will, man.
Yeah. No, it's in my mind, I consider myself to be above average intelligence.
You
right? I educate myself.
You do.
So every time I do it and then I feel bad, I'm like, well, you know why it happened, right? You're a dumbass.
But a lot of people have two choices, right? There's two different difficulties out there, right? You can either stay there and be fat and get bullied and be crappy to yourself, or you get out there and you work out and you find someone that's willing to help you genuinely to lose weight, and you just go through it. And that's
as a listener, what I heard from Peter Ho is I'm a lazy piece of shit because I am. That's what I heard, and that's what I need to fix, right?
Okay,
I could get up an hour earlier. I could make a better lunch. I could sacrifice watching TV in the evening and make a better dinner, right? They're just excuses is, I don't have enough time. Time management is also a huge issue.
That's a huge thing. That's a big excuse I hear every single day.
I don't have enough time.
And the reason why people say time is like, I don't have enough time is priorities.
Yeah.
What is your priority? If your health is priority, then you just make your life shorter.
Right. So my priority today, because we didn't have little man come over this morning. I have my grandson every morning who lives right next to us. I take him to school from 6 a.m. to 8 a.m. ish. My part today was he wasn't coming over. Nikki and I got up. We were going to get up and go for a walk, but we didn't. We stayed in bed and we slept. And that was my priority because my body was tired, and because we worked out every day this week, I just like, fuck it, I'm not getting up.
But the difference between you and most people is all week long you've been doing the work, right? You can make that choice.
Yeah. But
you're allowed to make that choice, where most people make that choice every day, right? Am I going to get up and do anything, or am I going to lay in bed? I laid in bed today too.
Yeah. I will tell you, though, the days that I get up, and even if we just go for a 1.5 mile walk, I feel better that day. Now today's not that same because obviously my body said, fuck you, sleep, right? Just you need to sleep. And I slept till 8, and that's rare because every day we get up the alarm goes off at 4:45. So it was nice to just recover today, and and so yeah, I get what you're saying. But
that's one thing that I do every day that my job requires it. I average somewhere between 2.5 and 5 miles of walking every day.
Right.
Which is why I'm 160 pounds.
Well, yeah, but you don't lead a sedentary lifestyle like Peter mentioned. What's corporate America do? They sit. And
I don't sit at my job. I stand unless I'm at break or lunch or I'm walking, right? Yeah. I'm always moving.
Yeah, and see, my gig's real estate. So when I'm out showing houses, I'm in and out of trucks, in and out of houses. It could be
You're always moving too.
Right. When I'm not showing houses, then I'm sitting in front of a computer a lot because I'm marketing and blogging and things like that. But I still make myself get up.
Me too.
Go outside, for 15 minutes every hour when I'm doing shit. Like, this is the longest Mike and I sit all week when we do our shows.
Right. So like when I get done with this, here's what I've been doing on Fridays, and I got to be conscious of it too. I'll edit 2 of these shows right after we get done with this, and that takes the rest of my afternoon. So like Chris said, I got to be conscious every now and then. I'll feel it in my back, right? It's like, hey, you got to get up and walk, move around.
Yeah.
Get away from the computer.
You just got to get a standing desk.
Yep.
Okay, I'm having a custom desk built, but
that's the best part. I think the standing desk is so useful to your lower back. Like I have one too, so I'll stand up and just walk in place. That's what I would do. So
he has a standing desk. Look at him go. Of course he does.
It's not a standing, it elevates. So it sits on your desk. It sits on my desk and then elevates to the fact that it elevates.
I was going to say, I've seen you stand up and do the show before.
Yeah. So it just depends on my mood. Like Tuesdays, I'll stand up, right? Because
he's already changed position 3 times since we started.
Right. Because I can't be in the same spot, man. It drives me nuts. I gotta evolve. It doesn't work. But then I have to change the microphone, and I got adjust the stand and all that kind of thing. I got to get the radio voice going on. Hey, it's Chris and Mike show. I'm Chris. This is Mike. We're here with Peter Ho.
So way back a long time ago when I said I had a question, and then we squirreled all the way to this point. Explain to people what the difference between, because they go to the doctor all the time, and the doctor says my cholesterol is way out of whack. Explain to people what good cholesterol is and bad cholesterol, because we were told for a million years, thank you very much, that you should not eat eggs because they're full of cholesterol and they're going to kill you. Come to find out, that's the best cholesterol you can get, right?
So there's bad cholesterol, which is like different types of oil you use. Canola oil, seed oil, sunflower oil. Those are bad cholesterols. And there's good cholesterols. Eggs, olive oil, avocado oil, coconut oil, right? It's your body can only process things that are healthy, whole, right? Sunflower nut oil are processed oil. They process as much as possible to get that oil extract, compared to an avocado, coconut oil. It's just a fruit. It's a fruit, or avocado is a fruit. I almost threw myself there, but the process of it is very minimal, right? That's why it's a lot healthier, and you get that healthy fat. In terms of eggs, I eat 6 eggs a day. I'm still here.
I eat three.
I just had 3 this morning.
I ate 6 eggs in one meal. Like, that's just how my morning starts. My breakfast is usually 6 eggs and some protein. But there's also good cholesterol for your body to be able to have that healthy fat in yourself and your body.
Rebuilds it's the building blocks for your brain, correct?
It does. It is.
Thank you.
Building blocks for your brain, but also muscle recovery.
Recovery as well.
And your energy level, right? If you have bad cholesterol, that's the reason why a lot of people eat fast food and processed food. Why do they feel like exhausted or tired afterwards? Is that your body can't process it fast enough. It sticks in your body and stays there, and that's how it ends up being visceral fat. Is that all that cholesterol ends up being visceral fat around your organs. So,
So I got distracted because I do that every now and then. You were talking about oils. So sunflower oil is bad?
Sunflower oil, nut oil is bad. Vegetable oil is bad. Let's see what else is out there. Canola oil is bad.
Okay, so coconut?
Coconut oil is good. Okay. Avocado oil is good. That's what I cook with. I cook with coconut oil. You can do ghee. Is that what it's called? Ghee at Costco. It's like it's like butter, but not really butter.
Clarified butter, right?
Clarified butter, yeah.
Clarified butter's good.
Got to be careful with that though,
because I love my butter. If Nikki would let me, I'd put some butter on her nipples when we were playing, but she won't let me. That's how much I love butter. And she's like, "I draw the line with food, honey. It ain't happening." I was like, "But honey, So I love the butter. That's my thing, man. I've always loved the butter, and it's the stick butter. It's not the country crock that you can stick outside in the driveway in 120-degree weather and it doesn't fucking move for them. Okay, it just sits there. You stick a stick of butter out there, that motherfucking shit is done. It's gone. It's leaked into this concrete. Then you have a big butter stain. Okay. So
you just triggered a huge question for me,
right
because
on!
I'm allergic to milk. So what's my alternative? Because he's right. Margarine has been proven that flies won't even touch it, right?
Mm-hmm.
So I would say avocado and coconut oil.
Okay.
I would say those two are probably the best way to actually help with the healthy body.
So super healthy, knowledgeable guy, Peter Ho, at Unka Pita on Instagram, and that's at UNKO at UNKO PEETAHO Unka Pita. Air fryers and Instapots are all the rage, man.
All the rage.
Okay? Look at him sit back in his chair, like, oh yeah. So
here we go.
Air fryers, are they better than microwaves? Just yes or no?
Yes.
Okay.
Has to be.
So Instapot's better than microwaves?
Yes.
Okay. So is it a healthier approach to making food in an air fryer and Instapot than it is like stovetop and grills?
No. Okay. I would say they're both equally. Same. Yeah, as long as you don't use a microwave.
Okay. Yeah, no, but that's why I asked.
Or you're like frying it in oil. That's the worst one.
But if you want to fry, like say you want to fry fries, right? Like we air fryer fries, but every now and then my body just craves a fried fry, right? So okay, before meeting Peter Ho, don't yell at me. I have a can in the garage, on the garage refrigerator, that's filled with oil from every time we make fries. So I'm going to get rid of that. But if I use coconut oil or avocado oil in frying the fries, that's a healthier alternative to frying that food, correct? It's still not super healthy because you're still frying.
You can also use extra virgin olive oil too.
Okay, but that's super expensive. But I could chop up a whole food potato. I could chop up a potato because a potato is a whole food and it's from the motherland in Ireland, right? Right. So you can take a potato from the motherland. You can chop it up in the fries, and then you can put it in coconut oil, which is from Hawaii. So we're combining the motherland of Ireland and Hawaii and making Irish fries, right?
Yeah.
And that's a healthy approach, right?
Yes, it is an approach. That's what I do. That's exactly what I do now.
Really?
If I'm fry foods, I'm frying avocado oil, coconut. I use coconut oil, so I fry coconut oil. And I fry all my fried chickens. I fry all my beef.
No shit.
Yeah, I do it.
Okay. So on the stovetop, could you use coconut oil and put popcorn kernels in it and pop popcorn in coconut oil?
Yes, you can.
Really?
Yeah, the oil is still like you still have that texture, right? That oil texture.
Okay.
It's just a healthier fat for your body because you need healthy fats in your body no matter what. It's needed. Your body's needed for brain fuel. Healthy fats, for brain fuel, and for your muscle recovery.
So what are some examples of healthy fat? I know avocado, and obviously now coconut oil and avocado oil. What are some other healthy fats?
Salmon, omega-3, fish, salmon, fish. Right, those three are probably the best three, I would say, when it comes to healthy fat. I kind of just stick with that. I said my lifestyle is a little bit boring when I'm not out eating, just because it works for me. Everybody's body works differently, right? Like for example, Chris' body might work better with chicken compared to Mike's body works better with steak. Gotcha. So I kind of just keep it in that range for myself.
Okay. How do you know?
Because I try so many different things, and when I
was being funny. That's my favorite. Yeah. If somebody had a gun to my head, Peter, and said, "What's the last meal you ever want?" It would be steak.
Yeah.
And it's just the who doesn't love steak? Steak is a one ingredient meal until you put salt and pepper on it.
Okay, so let me ask you this:
pepper's supposed to be good, correct?
Pepper's good. No, salt and pepper are good for you.
And you need the Himalayan sea salt for the good. Salt.
Himalayan pink salt is the best.
Pink salt, yeah.
Yeah, okay. It doesn't boost your sodium level in your body.
Okay, so we're talking about dead cows, ground beef, right? Because you can't really get ground beef it comes straight from the cow, but obviously we get all our ground beef from Costco. So in some way, in shape, or form, is that processed or is it just cow to packaging?
It's just cow to packaging because they have to grind. Yeah, so there's no processed stuff in it. Yeah.
Okay. So anything you buy at the store as far as chickens and beef, that's
still one ingredient.
It's still one ingredient. Okay.
Just look at that's regulated by the FDA, correct?
Wait, what? Sorry, go ahead.
Like they couldn't put anything other than ground beef in there because that's regulated by the FDA, right? They keep track of.
Yes.
You couldn't just start, when they cut cocaine to sell it to, make their profits bigger. You can't put something else in ground beef and call it ground beef, right?
No.
That's the Christian Mike Show for you. We just use an example of cutting cocaine and how cutting beef and how you can't do that with both because the FDA won't allow it.
I come from a different world than most people. So.
The FDA. So what we just learned here, boys and girls, is the FDA has approved cocaine as long as it's cut with some different kinds of content, whereas red beef is still pure and fresh from the cow.
If that's not a short, I don't know what it is.
That's a short, baby. Cocaine and red beef. So we're like, this is a great show, Peter. I hate to wrap this up, but we got to kind of come to an end here. We're definitely going to have you back on with Nate. Nate's coming on another Friday. I want to tell you right now so you can put it on your calendar. I'll approach him too and make sure it's cool because I think it'll be fascinating to have you and him on at the same time because
I would love to show with
you're both born of the same cloth, man. So he's coming on the 23rd. So in 2 weeks he'll be on. So let me know if
you're very simpatico.
Yeah, I think it'd be awesome.
May 23rd, I'll lock it in.
May 23rd. So again, this is Peter Ho. You can find him on Instagram at Unka Pita, and that's UNKO PEETAH, and we'll put all this on our Instagram page and our Facebook page as well. It'll be on the YouTube channel once we get the shows and stuff dropped to air. Make sure you go and subscribe to the YouTube channel because then once his show comes on, you'll be notified via email. That's the cool thing about being a subscriber on YouTube. You get notified when people put new stuff up.
Yes, you do.
Do you have a YouTube page, Peter?
I don't.
You need to have a YouTube page because if you would drop little snippets like this about your products And then people like us go like your page and subscribe to your page, and then all of a sudden you go down this rabbit hole where you have thousands of people following on YouTube. Even if you're just dropping a 60-second short every day on some of your products, you're gonna help the world understand. Because this was almost 2 hours, and we're gonna have probably 15, 20 shorts out of this.
Love it.
Yeah, but you should do your own podcast too, man.
Yeah,
because you're selling a product and you're very well spoken. I've enjoyed talking to you. I could talk to you for 5 more hours, man.
Well, that's what I'm saying.
You're like Chris said earlier, you know your shit. You can tell when somebody's been there, done that. They know what they're talking about. You taught me several things in this hour and a half we've been on the air. Definitely think about doing your own podcast,
I
man.
took notes. I don't take notes on the show.
You're very well he doesn't.
Notes,
that's
man.
first time ever. So
I took notes, dude.
I can't encourage you enough. I think you would do well. You know what you're talking about. You have a product to sell. You have a reason for people to listen to you. And I really hope that people get something out of this. I think this is one that, like when Nate was on, I had so many people come up and tell me I had to go back and listen to that again because there was so much information, but I wanted to absorb it, For me, I rarely go back and listen to the whole show. I'll listen to this one several times just because there was so much information in there that can help people not only live a healthier lifestyle, but feel better every day.
Right.
So many people don't feel good all day long, right?
I would say that's my ultimate goal of life. I want to be able to help as many people around the world, not just in the United States, but around the world.
Yeah.
Really become the better version of themselves, internally, physically, and mentally. That's my ultimate goal. I don't care if you're a stranger, if you're not. I would still love to connect with everyone who comes
I
by
can
my
feel
page.
your energy. Chris knows I'm an empath, man. So I can feel people's energy. I know when somebody's full of shit and when they're not. Sometimes I say it, sometimes I don't.
Right. And I'm not an empath at all. So,
Your energy has come through just, I can feel the Hawaii in you,
I get that a lot here in California. It's weird. Like, oh, you're from where again? Oh, what? Oh, that's why
that makes sense.
Well, but part of that too is what you just touched on, okay? Is what you put in your body has a dramatic impact on how you feel throughout the day. So those people out here listening to us, watching us, if you wake up and you feel like shit, and throughout the day you feel like shit, and then when you go to bed you feel like shit, it's probably what you're putting into your body.
Brilliant.
So you're going to do what I'm going to do, and Nikki's going to be excited when she comes home and I tell her, we're getting rid of all the bad starch today.
Yeah.
Because I really want to see if it impacts, because we talked earlier, I have this weird pain in the middle of my shoulder blades. And I honestly thought it's because I'm doing a lot of deltoid exercises and shit, and how it pulls how it pulls this?
Yeah.
So I'm just kind of thinking, well, I'm just sore because of that. But then when Mike talked about it and you talked about it, I'm like, well,
here's the cool thing, Chris Dunna.
Yeah.
Because we just scheduled him, and hopefully it works out with Nate. If you started today, by May 23rd, you're going to be able to tell him whether you feel that Yep, you got 2 weeks to, we'll be able to say, okay, Peter, here's what happened.
Yeah. No, and I will.
May 23rd.
Let's do it. See, and the fun thing about me, Peter, is when I latch onto something, it's 100 miles an hour.
He's like a dog with a bone, buddy.
It drives me nuts.
I'm also going to keep you accountable. Now that we're connected on Facebook, I'm going to keep you accountable each day.
Okay.
But, hey, what you eat today?
That's fine, dude.
Trust me. That's how much I care, dude. That's how much I care about you, Chris.
I'm the same way, man. I got a buddy, Troy, that told me he wanted to kind of change his lifestyle, and I've been poking at him. I'm like, dude, what'd you eat today? How many cookies did you have? Well, I had a cookie.
That's how we all get better as people, right?
I'm like, yeah. I'm like, you're fine. You can have a cookie. I'm not saying you can't have cookies.
You
can have a cookie, man. You just can't have.
If Mama K makes cookies, I'm having a cookie.
You just can't have 6 cookies every time you sit down to lunch, right? You can have. I have 3 Oreos. I don't so much anymore, but there was a time where, when I was working out at Orange Theory, I was doing 8 workouts a week. I was doing 8 workouts at Orange Theory. You know what that is, Peter? What Orange Theory Fitness is?
Yes.
Okay, so I was doing that 8 times a week. Monday, Wednesday, Friday, back-to-backs, and then 1 each on Tuesday, Thursday.
He's an animal.
But then Nikki and I would be walking every night. So I was doing 17 workouts a week while I was doing 75 hard the first time. And so I would eat Oreos. I'd eat 3 Oreos every night just because my body wanted Oreos. But Oreos are vegan. Oreos are not a completely total healthy thing because they're processed, right? But still, you can have the shit. You just got to have the shit in moderation.
Correct.
Right? Like, don't go to Big Mac. Don't go to McDonald's every fucking day. You want to go to McDonald's? If that's your thing, treat yourself once every couple weeks. Right? You just, we're not saying completely shut down, revamp, because that won't work. You will fail. You will fail if you decide to change your entire. That's why diets fail. Correct me if I'm wrong, Peter and Mike, but diets fail because they're diets. They're fads.
Right.
They're fads. It's lifestyle. I've preached that. Mike's heard me preach it. Now you're preaching it too. It's a lifestyle.
And I couldn't
change.
agree with you more, man. That's a stupid example, but people say it all the time is, you can't quit smoking until you quit smoking, right?
Right.
I agree. It's a lifestyle change. It's not
your body's not going to change until you give it something different than you've been giving it every day. You're the living definition of example. You eat the same thing every day and complain about feeling like shit, and you don't do anything to change it.
Right. If you wake up, feel like shit, you go to bed feeling like shit, look at your diet. If that's the one thing you take from today's show, look at your diet, then reach out to Peter Ho. He's going to help you understand how to get your hormones in balance, what kind of proteins, fats, and carbs you need to be eating to be healthy. Then he's going to give you some examples of things to start ingesting on a regular basis to help you get to your goal of living a healthier lifestyle.
Well, and I think another super important message is the reason that you need his product is, do you want to eat 25 bananas a day, right?
I don't
either.
I don't think there's a lot of eating bananas on Gilligan's Island either. I think after a while they started being creative with the bananas, especially with Ginger Marianne.
They never. I bet they started growing cucumbers.
Yes. Because I think the skipper was overcompensating. Especially with that boat he had. So hey, what do you want to wrap it up? We wrap our show like this always, and I want to add something today. Mike and I are huge music lovers. We were in a band. This is how we met. 93. We've been friends ever since. So Mike and I have an admiration for a band called 3 Doors Down. We both love their music, and kind of in line with the band Candlebox, which is how Mike and I met. The reason I'm bringing up 3 Doors Down, Brad Arnold yesterday, which was May 8th, dropped the bomb. 2 weeks ago, he was feeling bad. He went to the doctor, got some tests run. He has stage 4 liver cancer that spread to his lungs. The dude is 9 years sober. He actually equates his sobriety and the person who saved his life with Charlie Daniel and his family, because Charlie Daniels was, a party animal at one point in time in his life. I'm 20 years sober. Mike's been sober since 2015. 2008, sorry. So it's a bummer that Brad Arnold has cancer, because he truly is. He's transparent like you, Peter. You can tell the genuine human that he is. You can tell the kind heart he has. When we've seen him live, he's very transparent about his beliefs. He's very kind and gentle soul. In fact, that when he dropped the fact that he has stage 4 cancer, which, basically the dude's going to die, right? I don't want to bring it down, but you don't live very long after stage 4. The fact that the message that he sent, if you haven't seen it, just Google Brad Arnold and you're going to see.
I bawled like a baby.
Yeah, it's sad. But the cool thing, and this is what I want to express to people, everybody that was commenting below him and the bands that he's been on tour with, because I follow all of them on Instagram, everybody from Alter Bridge and Creed are just saying the same thing. Like, it couldn't have happened to the worst person. Like, he is a genuine human. He's so overwhelmingly kind. And you know what I meant. He's not the worst person, but just the dude is the salt of the earth, and he does so much good that people don't recognize. Kind of like with Metallica, they do so much good behind the scenes. They never take credit for it. They don't say, "Oh, look at me, I'm raising millions of dollars for homeless every city we play in," because they're not about that. They're about being genuine humans, and that's what Brad Arnold is. He's like this genuine human being who actually. Just, it's sad because it's just
what made me cry was, I think what Chris is alluding to was there was still such a message of hope throughout the whole message. He wasn't like, "Woe is me, I got cancer." He was like, we're dealing with it. I changed my life, like he said, 9 years ago. I believe that God's going to do whatever God's going to do, and it was just very uplifting, and that was the part that made me just like break down. It's like, at the worst time in this guy's life, he's still exactly the same person that Chris just described.
Yeah,
so
he's still pinning, and that's the kind of how we always wrap up our shows is don't let the bad days win. Somebody loves you. Somebody will miss you. If you're having a bad day, reach out to somebody. Talk through your problems. Suicide's never an option. There's always something that's going to make your day change, and tomorrow's going to be a better day. One thing that you could try is eating differently. If and I don't say that to be an asshole, but if your day is how you make it, how you choose it to be. So if you start the day off eating processed, shitty foods, as cliche as that sounds, tomorrow get up and have some eggs, have an egg wrap, have some strawberries and blueberries, is oatmeal healthy?
Oatmeal?
Yeah.
No.
Okay. Well, no, because it's processed, right?
Yeah, it's very processed. Yeah.
Because I know they're big on oatmeal and things like that. So, but yeah, just don't let the bad days win. Is there anything you want to wrap up with, Peter? Because again, this has been great having you on the show today. It's very rare. We've gone almost 2 hours on a Friday in a while. So that should tell you something about our conversation and our infinity for letting you talk and share.
I know. I really appreciate. Thank you both for having me on the show. And I want to end this off as, I may be really young, and I think a lot of young people don't really think about this, but your life is short. Don't make it shorter.
We are all terminally ill.
Yeah, we're ill in every way possible, but if you can change something to really help yourself, not just physically but mentally,
right,
that's where you want to go. I mean, I had I do have a story on suicide, and we'll definitely save it for another episode.
Okay.
I really want to share that with everybody. I went through a lot of stuff, even as a 27-year-old, being homeless, broke, physical, and mentally abused last year, to now striving to become the person I am today, and to be able to help as many people as possible. So I want to end off is, even if you're a stranger out there, if you need a person to listen to, if you need help, I'm super open to giving that advice and helping you out. Even if I don't know you, I would love to talk to you. And you can reach me on Instagram, Facebook. I think we're going to tag that in, but
and Facebook, you're just Peter Ho, right?
Yes.
Peter Ho, Peterho, Peter Ho on Facebook.
Yeah. And so I want to end off with that is, no matter who you are out there and you want to reach out to me, I'm super open to having a conversation with you.
God, I love that, man. I love that.
That's what it is. I love to help people. And, back in Hawaii, when I graduated college, to end it off is, I had a nonprofit helping homeless shelters people.
Oh, right on.
Because they want to have a second chance of life.
Yes.
Right. When you want it bad enough, you got to understand, like, there's people who are not as successful as you are, or have the things around you. And I think to end this really off.
You're good, man. We never really end when we say we're going to end. There's always something.
I would say to end it off now is, be grateful and appreciative of what you have around you. The people, the things, the job or the car or the house that you have around you. Be grateful and appreciative of it, because you may not know, one day you lose it all. Yep. And I felt that last year. So
we're definitely going to have another show with you about all that stuff too, because that's another whole path which we didn't know, so now we do.
I'm excited for I'm excited for May 23rd. If Nate's okay with it, I'm super down to be on the show again.
Yeah, Nate's good people. Anything you want to say, Mike?
Well, once again, man, thanks for doing this. Selfishly, when I called him several times and we were trying to figure out how to do this, as much as, we're torn, because this is one of the best friends I've ever had. I shared a stage with him over 1,000 times. I mean, you just don't get that level of bonding with very many people in your life, because you just said it, you only have so many chances to have those long-lasting relationships. And when he agreed to do it, this is the kind of message and hope. I love talking about music too, but I really just appreciate someone, especially as young as you, that is so passionate about what they're doing. It gives me hope in humanity. I'm a student of human nature. That's the reason I wanted to do this. I love these stories. We're all three on different levels survivors. We all three could have went down the path of losing our mind, our life, hurting someone else, but fortunately that didn't happen. And now we're letting people know that you can live a healthy, positive lifestyle and still be cool, still do the things that you love to do. You're not going to be a square, a nerd, or, all the things that we were afraid of back in the day, right?
Right.
So I love you as a new friend. I love this guy as an old friend. And to be able to sit here for 2 hours and hopefully help one person, like, that brings tears to my eyes. So I'll stop before I start bawling like a little girl. So
that's what about. Hey, it's Chris and Mike Show again. This has been Peter Ho talking about health and wellness. You can find us on Instagram, Facebook, and YouTube. Drop a review, give us a follow on all those platforms. Coming soon, we're building a website called the website's just chrisandmikeshow.com. It's not there yet, but it will be soon. Peter, thank you so much for coming on. Mike, nothing but love, brother. Everybody have a fantastic day, and we'll see you next time.
Thank you so much.
Peace.
Quickly, we're gonna fly and disappear. Look, the tablet you must win. Oh, listen, baby, to your singing. Yeah. Listen to your singing. Now you're turning, come down in. You haven't found solid to your sand. You keep on fighting, wait for the day when you close your eyes and it fades away. You ain't no preacher, with a praying man. You took your breath on the Almighty's hand. You got a dream, who in your life to keep on soaring every night. Take the trip behind your eyes, feel the soul revolution night. Yeah, 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 yeah. Take a moment, listen to your sin, fight the battle that you must win. You gotta